What's up, everybody? This is Sal Kalani. That's Reggie Steele.
And welcome to Spitballin. We
So this is an interesting one today. We took a week off Thanksgiving, and
yeah, hope everyone
then
had a good holiday.
yeah, and it was really smoky as hell down here, and my sinuses were fucking with me, and I was just like, "No, we good."
Sal was struggling. He was
I was
struggling.
struggling, dude. It was bad. It's been hazy like all week. It sucks in LA, but the woke up this morning, my goddamn computer charger isn't charging my computer. Now I have an older one. I have a 2012 Mac.
Yeah,
This
you
is
gotta
so
let that
funny
go,
to me
bro.
because okay, so and like a month ago, like an exclamation point and a triangle popped up, and they're like, "Yo," and I was like, "What is that?" Like, you got to replace the battery.
Hey,
So to
dude.
replace the battery is like $200. Okay. And then
Okay.
they say, I Googled, they're like, well, look, and they, it says if you have your charger, it's fine. Don't worry about the battery. I'm like, good. All right. Well, this morning the charger is not working. Now, let me tell you, the charger is fucking looks frayed. It looks like the white is gone. It's just all the wires and the all sticking out
Oh,
like a
Sal.
porcupine. But it always worked. Like I use my computer constantly, and I knew,
Yeah,
like, I'm like, yo, I don't want a new battery. I don't want a new charger. I'm gonna get a new Mac
you're just
because
gonna.
that's what you need. It's time. It's 10
Yeah,
years. It's a bullet. You got to bite a bullet. It's like 1500. But you
yeah. But how
if I
long did
want a
you
real
have the
deal,
computer, dude? You've had it
10 years, and
for
I use everything. My
exactly. So
trivia
1,500
online,
over 10
everything I
years.
use it.
1,500 over 10 years is that $150 a year,
Yeah,
correct?
I got my money's worth out of
You
it for
got your
sure.
money's worth out of it. And
Anyway.
plus, hey man, I don't want you sitting around with a fire hazard charger sitting around with exposed wires, right? So
Well, here's the
maybe we
thing.
should, you know what? Maybe we should post a Cash App sign or a Venmo sign so people can donate
I'll
to
raise some money, get me a new
raise
Mac.
some
Look,
money to get
ooh,
Sal a
that
new
good.
computer.
Yeah,
Can
that'd
we
be a
do
good
that,
one.
folks?
Mm,
Can we all send Sal
mm.
$5
You
just
set
to
that up for me, Reg. It'd be weird if I do it. People will judge me, but if you do it,
oh yeah, it's
it'll be
like the
cool.
get
It'll
Sal a
be
new
cool.
computer fund.
But all right, bottom line is though, dude, I'm watching my battery slowly drain as we do this podcast. And I think with this light, this stupid light, ring light, the mic, the computer, the recording, the video, it's draining the fuck out of it. So when we
Oh,
started, when you logged on, it was at 88%.
okay.
Reggie talked in a little bit in the beginning before we recorded. So then we got to 86%. But bro, now it's at 73%.
Oh man, we're struggling. All right, so folks, in essence, what he's saying is that this will be a very short episode.
Because then
So,
we have to have at least, I don't know what, 20% on the end when I
all
save
right,
it.
so for the first time, folks, for the first time, we will be recording not based on time, but based on battery life. So when the battery hits that 50% mark, don't be surprised if we're like, and that's how the government what? Oh, thank you, folks. That's it. Peace.
Catch y'all next week.
Catch you next week.
All right. Well, I'm kind of bummed this all happened because I forgot to tell you, Reg. I want to surprise you, so I didn't want to like let you hear it. But a friend of mine, Joe Valentine, out in Ohio, he's a big fan of podcasts, listens all the time, and he loved the one we had with Jad El Khoury, the artist.
Oh, okay.
But he made us an intro song.
Oh, he did.
Yeah. So I'd like I told him I put it on this one, but I don't think I'm going to because I want you to hear it and then I want to play it when like when the episode drops. I'll play the
Thank you.
song and then hear your reaction
Okay, thank you to your boy.
live.
Thank you,
Yeah,
because
yeah,
that's what we need.
yeah.
We got to up the production value at this point, right? We need to get the
Right.
song, we need to have a little animation, and we got to get a computer that's got a battery that can last.
I know it's
Right?
70% everyone right now.
Okay,
This
70%. Let's get
motherfucking drains.
dude, give us a keep us updated so we'll know exactly what's going
Oh
on.
yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be like a countdown. I feel like you ever watched the original Rocky?
Yeah.
uh Best picture winner, but on Thanksgiving he takes her ice skating, right, and the ice
Okay.
rink is closed because it's Thanksgiving, and he's like, hey, this girl, she needs a doctor, she needs to go on the ice, make her happy, and he's like, all right, he's like, $10, 10 minutes. He's like, oh, he's like, $10, 10 minutes. You have the ice to yourself. And he's like, okay. So he goes, get in the blades. So they put her on and they're going around the ice skate. But then you hear the guy in the background every once in a while go, 7 minutes.
You know what that sounds like?
5 minutes.
Oh, that's awesome. You know what that sounds
Oh,
like? That sounds like Bill Burr's set in Philadelphia.
yes,
Remember?
it was yeah, very similar. Yeah, and it
Yeah,
was
very
funny because he
similar.
mentioned Rocky in that
He
set.
mentioned Rocky. He was like, "You guys have a statue of a fictional character, right? Like, you guys worship a dude that's not real." That joint was
Yeah, he
funny,
was
man.
like Joe Louis, like or Frazier. He's like Joe Frazier, amazing fighter from me. You guys give him no respect.
Yo, man, we on another episode we got to discuss Rocky and the whole everything
I
that was
love it.
going on in the world around that time. But yo, real quick, man, you didn't even notice that I kind of dressed it up today. I got a shirt
Yeah, I
with a
saw that.
collar,
You're looking
bro.
like a preacher today. What, you got a sermon today?
A preacher. What church do you go to that the preacher wears a shirt like this?
It's a collar button
This is
up white shirt.
that's a non. It's not. No, it's not. It's got patterns.
Well, I can't really see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, it
It's
is
got
pattern.
patterns. Yeah,
You're
I'm like.
you're at that church that like Eddie Murphy went to and Coming to America.
Oh,
Arsenio
that's
was the
funny.
preacher.
This would be a non-denominational church, right? Where I told you that story, right? About the church I went to. My boy Mark and I went to this church that was non-denominational, and they had no pastor, like no one led the service. It was led by the, as they said, the Spirit.
Oh shit, it's crazy already.
Oh, dude. Okay, I'm not even gonna tell you the story. I'll just wait till you got battery life to hear the whole thing because it's good. So next week, folks, you got to tune in and hear the second half to hear the story about the non-denominational church in Oakland that was led by the Spirit.
I mean, tell us. Oh wow, it's red now. The battery is red, and I'm at 61.
All right, we don't have time. Let's get to it. Let's go to the other thing. So
I'll
real
see.
quick.
Oh, okay. Abortion. That well, let's talk about abortion real quick. Is that what we're doing?
Dude, first off, my boy Marcus, who's an attorney, who's my attorney, I don't like talking to him about cases, especially big profile cases, because we all personally have a feeling of how we want them to end. But whenever I talk to him about those cases, being an attorney, dude, he has predicted like almost 100%. His rate of being right is like 99.9%.
Well, he knows how the law works and is interpreted.
Yeah, and he knows about juries and jury selection and understanding the language that's being used. Yo, man, he's like, I talked to him yesterday, and this dude's like, Roe v. Wade, like basically he's like, it's over, bro. He's like, it's over. Right.
Because those three justices. It's
those
unbelievable that
hey,
that piece of shit President Trump was able to get 3 picks in 4 years. One, which was BS because McConnell wouldn't let Obama get his pick in when the guy died during Obama's presidency.
Right.
9 months later. But then when the same thing happens 4 years later, with Ruth Bader Ginsburg dying, they shove Amy Coney Barrett in there within 2 months. It's the most hypocritical bullshit.
I was gonna say, are we upset about the right being hypocritical? Right, like that's kind of their MO, dude.
That's all they are. It's just it's all about power. They're not they pretend to be religious. It's all fake. They're fucking phonies and they're hateful people. They're putting people's lives in danger. They wanted to shut down the government because they're bitching about people having to wear masks and to be vaccinated at these federal jobs. It's like, you guys are putting people in danger. Go fuck yourselves. They're trash. The Colorado woman ripping on the Muslim congresswoman, calling her a terrorist, making up stories that didn't even happen. It's disgusting.
I agree 100%. I got nothing else to add to that.
In Georgia, who she's the worst. She's terrible. It's just this extremism. How do we let? And we used to not be like this. Like this stuff was like called out, and now you're letting this garbage, religious, racist hypocrites in power.
Right. Yeah, I agree. I feel you 100%. I got nothing to add to that. I think you covered it all. Seriously, because I feel the exact same way.
Reggie,
I think it's sad.
It's super sad. Another thing, the guns, the shootings, there was no school shootings ever and then Columbine. I mean, there was stuff here and there, but Columbine was where it really began.
That was the first one.
I was already out of high school by then. But now they don't do nothing at all. In Canada, there was one mass shooting. They changed the gun laws instantly and just made it tougher. You can still get guns, but you not let just some crazy kid able to get a gun so easily. And I know hunters up there, they're all
Yeah.
cool with it. They respect the law. They
Right.
understand. They're like, that's fine. I can still get my gun. But here it's like they make it a political thing and it shouldn't be. They're using it as
No.
a rallying cry.
Well, I will say this just in regards to the whole Michigan shooting. 4 students were killed and several others were hurt. They are charging both parents.
I just saw that. Good.
Yeah,
Fuck
with
'em.
involuntary manslaughter.
You didn't lock up the gun. It wasn't safe from your kid. It was not away from ammunition.
Yep.
And they said like they read things that the kid was saying about doing this stuff. So they're really negligible.
Yeah, and I think
the kid
even
had
the
a
school-
gun in his bag and he was with his parents and they was talking to the principal, I believe. And then they like squashed it and they left. And then the kid shot up the school.
Wow. See,
Yeah,
all
man.
that could have been prevented, right?
And
Lives
more
could have been
people
saved.
have guns now than ever. It's all another
do.
bullshit thing. Like, oh, it's so disgusting.
Hey man, it's the worst. But I'm gonna tell you what. Remember what Dave said in Sticks and Stones, I think it was, about gun rights, right?
Yeah,
he was like,
well,
in order for us to change this whole situation, like black and brown people and everyone, we all need to come together. And he pauses, and everyone starts yelling out, "Yeah, we need to come together and vote and vote." And he's like, "No, we need to come together and register." Like buy and register guns, right? Register to buy a gun. Because the truth of the matter is, look, man, if we all get guns, I'm telling you right now, if every black dude got a registered gun, every Latin dude got a registered gun, they would lose their shit. They would change laws immediate. There'd be background checks. You have
well, that's because of racism.
Hey man, we'll use the racism against them, right? Because they're think about it, they're racist now, and they're doing what the hell they want to. At least use that racism against them, right?
That's funny.
But the problem is if, and look, I'm not even a gun guy, and I'm not even recommending that people get guns. I'm just throwing out what the idea was. But if we were to get guns, I think everyone should just go get shotguns, and then we can hit them with that. But the problem is,
that's true. Or a handgun, but you don't need
not a handgun, not
semi-automatics.
Nah, you don't need that. Semi-automatics and
that shit's
handguns,
what's got to go, because that could kill people faster than anything. Like the guy in fucking Vegas took out all those people like that. It's just minutes. It's absurd.
It's all bad. But the problem is that if we all go get shotguns, these motherfuckers will show up with bazookas and surface to air missiles and shit. It'll be like they'll just go bigger. But
well, most likely, the percentages stay too. If there's a gun in the home, there's going to be someone's going to die from it.
Right,
at home.
Right. Now, I don't really think that's the case. I think we need less guns personally.
No, totally. I mean, I've and it's even suicide. People just might get depressed and take that gun. Yeah, and then kids getting access to it.
Yeah, it's all bad. I mean, I was just joking about whatever, but
I know you are.
Yeah, but
43%.
All right. Oh, damn, we got to shut down now already.
It's fucking crazy, right?
It's crazy.
I'm sorry, everybody. I got a fucked up computer. What do you want me to do?
Well, we'll just make the most
work
of
this
it.
thing to the bone.
We'll make the most of it. So, real quick, in regards to the abortion issue, personally, I believe that it's a woman's right. It's their body.
If you don't want an abortion, don't get it. Don't try and fucking control a woman's body.
Exactly.
It's not your business, dude.
If you don't
fucking
want
hypocrites,
dude, that's the answer to all this shit. If you don't want to get an abortion, don't. If you don't want to marry somebody that's the same that's the same gender as you, don't. Right? Whatever you don't like or you don't want, then don't do. But you have no right or say on what someone else does. It's as simple as that.
That sounds like a riddle the way you said that. Don't do, but if you do, what someone does. But you're right, dude.
It's like just because you don't like chocolate ice cream don't mean you got to get rid of chocolate ice cream for everybody. Right? It's like,
I don't know if I'd call abortion chocolate ice cream though.
No, I know. What I'm saying is that it's a woman's right it's a woman's right, and no one should be trying to dictate what a woman does with her body. It's as simple as that.
Amen. So this is what I wanted to talk about, because I found this article I read a couple years ago, and then I look back at it because of this, and it's the real origins of the religious right and the abortion movement. And this is from this guy is a pastor who he's a professor also at Dartmouth, and his name is Randall Balmer. And he wrote this article, and it was really interesting. And you go back into the history of it. And so Roe versus Wade passes in 1973,
January 23rd.
And then But they said not until like 79 did people ever even do anything about it. Like Catholics, it was like a Catholic thing. The evangelicals didn't even really care, because what evangelicals were trying to do at the time is to keep the schools segregated. And they didn't want black kids to come into the schools. All right. So here we go. So even like they got these quotes like how the Christianity Today, back at the times, it was the flagship magazine for evangelicals. They would say stuff that abortion was individual health, family welfare, and social responsibility. And that's how they said it was, you know, for justifying it. But then what happened was, after Brown versus Board of Education, they were trying to get segregation academies. So they wanted to just, they went off and made their own white schools.
Right.
And
but the thing was, they were trying to be federally exempt, trying to get tax exempt.
Right. And that's where it came. And they're like, no, well, you shouldn't be allowed to not pay taxes because you're being discriminatory. And so
based on race.
Based on race. And there was this whole thing, Bob Jones University. That guy, they started this whole school, and so that was the one that was like under the case. And what happens is finally they're appealing, goes to Supreme Court in 82, and they argue it to the to the planned arguing defense of the university. The Supreme Court's decision in the case, handed down on May 24th, 1983, Bob Jones University, an 8-1 decision that they had to get rid of it, right?
8-1. Even in that situation, there's one dumb fuck.
But well, here's the twist. 3 years later, that one dumb fuck, the sole dissenter, was William Rehnquist, who Ronald Reagan then made Chief Justice of the Supreme Court.
Exactly. These motherfuckers all shaking hands together. I swear they're all tied together, dude. It is just racism, and what is it? It's racism and power, right?
Yeah.
The one dude that descends, right, from the others, the one guy who votes against ends up being chief, right? In a case about segregation at a school, or racial, like, being biased based on race, dude. Hey man,
they said like there was a movie they went around. So right in the 70s, when they're trying to get rid of Carter, who was an evangelical from Georgia,
and they got him in office when he was
there were films that whatever happened to the human race, and they went around and they show these films of abortions and stuff, and they were just trying to get off the segregation. We can't win that. And they've done other things. They couldn't win prayer in school. They couldn't win pornography. They went after all that stuff. So, but abortion, they started going on this little thing. And that's how in 1980, then, I mean, there was more, probably the Iran hostage crisis got Jimmy Carter kicked out, but then Reagan took over, and the religious right started infiltrating our politics.
Well, hold up though. And even, I think in that same article, they talk about how Reagan had just passed one of the most liberal abortion rights bills in California. But he didn't address that. They don't talk about that.
They also said how Ronald Reagan voted against the Civil Rights Act in 1965. And when he announced his presidency, it was in the town in Mississippi where they killed those civil rights activists.
God damn, really? This dude was you see, now what is that? That's all that's a dog whistle. That's a dog whistle for white supremacists and for racists and bigots and anything else that you could think of. You literally announce your presidency in Mississippi, for one, Mississippi, and then you do it in the county where civil rights activists were killed. Dude, it's a dog whistle.
Well, it was like when Trump, when he first was announcing he was running, and he called the Mexicans rapists, letting rapists come across the border. It's just a demeaning way. You'd be like, oh wow, let's say there's 100. Let's say there's 100,000 Mexican people right there. One of them is a rapist. I'm calling them all rapists. Like that, you can't, because it's so it's so fucked up.
It's so fucked up, dude. It's so fucked up. And the point,
25%.
25%. All right, folks, we're about to get cut off. Yo, man, it's sad because you label these people. I mean, I can't even speak correctly because it's so frustrating. But it kills me that they like to try to point out the shit that other people do in other races, but they never point. They never look in the mirror and see themselves. Right. They never look at themselves. And it's exhausting even talk about the level of hypocrisy on the other side.
Yeah.
Right.
And
And now we're in a place too where everyone's like, well, there's hypocrisy on both sides, the Republicans and the Democrats and everybody. And it's like we live in a world literally right now where we are descending to a point where it's like you can't trust anything or anybody because no one believes anything.
yeah,
Either
there's so much
people
lies and
it's so
misinformation
many
out.
lies and misinformation. It's either you believe every single thing that you hear or you believe nothing. But
Yeah,
there's no space to be like, well, okay, I think that's factual, right? We cannot argue with 2 + 2 being 4. But then on the other
right.
side, it's like, well, depending on what kind of math you use, like how? But someone be on the other side will believe that shit and be like, well, yeah, I mean, depends on what kind of math you use. Where are you from? It's like, dude, but it's confusing, man. It's confusing and it's frustrating and it's interesting to be alive during this time
And
because
it's crazy because our country is like, we're not like the rest of the Western world doing this. This is like archaic. We're going back in time now.
we're going
Like,
backwards, dude. We're
it's
going
like, it's
backwards.
crazy.
Dude, we're going backwards. Y'all hear us out there? Listen, world. We are talking
18%.
about
I think we're gonna have to wrap this up
we're at
because I don't know how much
15%
it's
right now.
gonna
We're gonna have to wrap
drain
it up.
while I gotta save the file.
Okay. All right. All right.
We don't
Well,
want
we'll
to.
just say this.
But I've tried to
Hey,
get Randall Balmer on next week's podcast. I emailed Dartmouth, haven't heard back yet. Fingers
okay.
crossed.
All right, fingers crossed. Folks listening, please do your research. Find more than one source, right? Like, and find people who are credible. Don't find some dude who's living in his basement, living in his mom's basement, and who's self-taught. Like, I've read all the books and I figured it out myself. Go fuck yourself. Go find somebody that's credible, that has gone through like a rigorous training to do this, and then look at their history.
Who's educated?
Who's educated, right? So basically, do the homework, man. That's it. Do the homework. Stop believing everything you hear and stop not believing anything you hear. Like, think for your fucking self. All right.
Amen.
Yo, we got to get out of here.
Thank you,
This
Reg.
computer's
Close
about to
us
die.
out. We're at 13%.
We're at 13%. Hey, guys, thanks for tuning in. Sorry we missed you last week. We missed you. Hope you missed us. We missed you. And that's Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele. We love doing this. And this is Spitballin. Peace.
Peace.